Welcome to In Your Neighborhood. I'm your host, Chris O'Rourke, and we're continuing our series, Conversations on COVID-19. A lot has been sacrificed over the last 6 months. In particular, going to a movie, going anywhere indoors, including a concert. And that has affected a lot of organizations like the Susquehanna Valley Chorale. And joining me today is Dr. William Payn. Dr. Payn, why don't we start off with a little background on the SVC, the Susquehanna Valley Chorale. How long has it been around?
We were actually going to celebrate our 50th anniversary season this year.
Of course.
So, yeah, it was hard to believe that we couldn't do that.
I can't tell you how many instances I've heard of just really bad timing with this coronavirus. Obviously, it's never good timing for something like a pandemic, but it's really affected a lot of organizations that are ready to celebrate big occasions like yours.
Absolutely.
So how long have you been the conductor of the SVC?
This is my 25th year. So half that time, I have been fortunate to have the opportunity to conduct this amazing group of singers.
How did you get involved in it?
Well, as you know, I was teaching at Bucknell, taught there for 32 years, and about halfway through that period, excuse me, Cy Stratansky, who was the former conductor for the chorale, retired. And so there was an opening. And this was back in 1996.
So what was that like taking over this organization? How did you put your imprint on it?
The one thing that was so great about this organization that set it apart from my Bucknell ensembles is that I could do significant major choral works with orchestra. And that wasn't always the case at Bucknell. I had more a cappella groups, smaller groups. So this was a group of nearly 100 singers that were singing these significant pieces of music.
Okay, so that takes my next question. How many members are there? So there's about 100 singers?
Yeah, on the books, we have about 120. Obviously, some of those people travel or have other commitments for all of our concerts. So we average about 80 singers a concert.
Do you generally try to stay at that number? Is that your cutoff number is 120, or does it fluctuate?
It fluctuates, but what fluctuates the most is the number of singers who actually can perform a concert. So that's where it is, about 80 people.
How many concerts do you typically have in a normal year?
We typically have 4 concerts. One in the fall, our Christmas performance, holiday performance, and then in March, a spring performance, and then we end with our annual Pops concert at Weber Auditorium.
So two concerts have been affected so far? Is that what my guess?
Yes. We were ready to do an amazing piece of music that had been premiered in 2017, and we were part of a consortium to have Steve Hackman, a composer that lives in Pittsburgh, write this piece of music called A Dylan Oratorio. And we had been rehearsing it since January. We were ready to perform it that second week in March when everything shut down. So that was very disappointing. And then, of course, our Pops concert that May was canceled as well.
And you probably pretty much knew right away, as soon as things started to shut down in March, that obviously this is going to affect your schedule.
We did. And I think probably the most devastating thing for me and my colleagues who are choral conductors was to find out that we were super spreaders. And if we got together with a group of singers, it was not a good thing. So we quite quickly decided to cancel our season.
Yeah, I can't remember where it was, but I remember hearing of an organization that got together for a concert practice, and in a shorter period of time, half the group was affected.
Right. So we won't come together again until we know that it's safe to do so.
So then at what point did the idea for a virtual concert come up?
Well, we knew that these kinds of events were starting to happen in March and April, and I was seeing online some really amazing virtual performances, some pretty bad ones as well. So I didn't want to do a virtual performance just because everybody else was doing it. I wanted there to be a reason, and my reason for doing virtual performances with the Susquehanna Valley Chorale is because there's such a connectedness with our singers, and I want to keep that public. I want people to see that connectedness that we feel. So by doing a virtual performance, even though it goes outside of our comfort zone, I decided that we would like to try it, and it's been very successful.
Yeah, you had one already.
Yes, we. This is a new program for the chorale. We pay 8 students from the area, from Susquehanna University, from Bucknell, and from Mansfield right now, to sing with us. And so we decided to ask those 8 students, because they're very tech savvy at that age, to do our first virtual performance. And they agreed very happily. And a theme for us now has been the title song that they sang, which was "We'll Meet Again." It was the Vera Lynn piece that was sung back in the 30s and was an inspiration for our troops at that time. And we just felt that this was a great song. And so our scholarship students put all that together, and it's out there on YouTube.
Okay, so the first concert was eight people.
Yes.
Will there be a concert with the full chorale?
Yes. For those singers who felt comfortable doing it, they signed up to sing a virtual performance, which will be presented next month, the middle of next month. I was thrilled to see that 60 of our singers agreed to do this. And many of them were nervous about it, because in order to do a virtual performance, you're singing by yourself in your home. And then it's quite a large process to make it happen technically, because you have to be wearing earphones, you're watching me conduct, which is pre-recorded, and then they're listening to an accompaniment, and then they're singing into their iPhone. So it's quite interesting to watch the whole process. And of course, the technician who edits all of it at the end has a major task of putting 60 singers together and blending that sound.
Oh, so it's not done as many of us are familiar with Zoom. There's the whole Brady Bunch screen. It's not done that way?
Eventually it is, but you can't, as you know, there's a lag issue. So you can't sing simultaneously on Zoom. If you had 8 people singing happy birthday to somebody on Zoom, they would all be in a different place. It wouldn't be simultaneous singing. So yeah, eventually those virtual performances that you see do have everybody on screen, but that's because it's been technically edited to make that happen.
Now, most of your performances have themes. Will there be a theme for this one?
Yes. As I told you, we were scheduled to sing a performance in March of a work by Steve Hackman, arranged by Steve Hackman, and this was the music of Bob Dylan. And it was called a Dylan Oratorio, and we were going to be singing this at the Rusty Rail in Mifflinburg. And it would have been the full chorus with a string quartet, piano, accompaniment, guitar. And we were so looking forward to it. And the singers were very disappointed not to do it. So I said, let's do the final movement of this work, which is Blowing in the Wind. And that Dylan piece, I felt, was just so poignant and speaks directly to this difficult time. When you consider that Blowing in the Wind was sung at civil rights gatherings, it was sung on the steps by Peter, Paul, and Mary right before Martin Luther King Jr. gave his "I've Got a Dream" speech. So I just felt that it was the perfect piece to do this time.
Now, when you say you have 60 people have agreed to do it, do you have to make sure that you have all of the choral parts covered and that there's an equal part men and women involved?
We do. So that's why the very first process is to find out who is willing to do this. And it worked out beautifully. The blend is going to be amazing.
Now, I did see the student concert on your website. Is that where people can also see this concert?
Yes, same thing. They go to svcmusic.org. They will be able to view everything that we've been doing.
Now, if this concert is successful, and I'm sure it will be, will this also help you handle the holidays? Because that is the big time of the year for choral concerts.
Absolutely. And for the last 5 years, we've packed Zion Lutheran Church in Sunbury with 2 performances. And so I know that our supporters are really going to miss that, and our singers. So yes, we're going to do a virtual performance, which will come out first part of December, and we'll feature a couple of the pieces that we have done in the past. One, which is the Norman Luboff arrangement of Still, 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 which is just such a beautiful arrangement.
So I did see on your website that you have performances listed, but they are for October of 2021. So you're really thinking pretty far ahead here, aren't you?
Exactly. We decided to move our 50th anniversary season to 2021. What is it? 21, 22. And so it's basically, that was kind of in place. And the Dylan Oratorio will be a part of that season. And then we've also planned for 22, 23. We had a Zoom retreat with the Susquehanna Valley Chorale board members on Saturday. And I presented my ideas for the 2 seasons, and we discussed it and talked about how that's going to happen. And if by next fall, we still can't sing simultaneously, we can't sing together, we'll continue to do virtual performances.
Now, this just popped in my head. How do you go ahead and add new members at this point in time? I know you have auditions. Do they audition virtually for you?
Yes, they can do that. Absolutely. And all they need to do, there's on our webpage, there's an example of what a typical audition looks like. And so if someone wants to audition, they can go look at that and then contact our executive director, Kelly Beard, and she will make it happen. And it'll be a Zoom, just like you and I are doing here. It would be an audition.
So how gratifying, how satisfying will it be for you to finally be back in person with the chorale?
Oh my gosh. I've said to them on more than one occasion these last 6 months that I can't even begin to imagine what it's going to be like when we all stand together in our first rehearsal and take that first breath together. I don't think there'll be a dry eye in the house when I think about it.
I'm sure it'll be an emotional moment for you, as well as every other organization that has been separate now for the first time getting back together again.
Absolutely.
Okay, Dr. William Payn, thank you very much for your time today, and we certainly are going to be looking for that concert in October, and we hope everything goes well with it.
Thank you, Chris. I appreciate the opportunity to speak to you. It's great.
Okay, and we will be right back. Perfect. Very nice. Super. I think we covered everything too, so.
Yeah, sounds good. I'm sorry I had a little frog
That's
in my
okay.
throat.
That happens. I've been in that position before.
Yeah, I know. So, well, when you don't talk a lot in the morning, it's just,
Yep.
so
That's what gets
anyway,
me too.
I really appreciate your time, Chris.
Okay. I'm not sure when this will air. I'm still trying to line up a second segment for it. Hopefully, either later this week or early next week it'll air.
Fabulous.
And I will get back to you with the times. And usually what we do is we put a little teaser on our Facebook page. And then after the interview has aired, I think we usually air it 5 times on TV. Then we'll put the full interview on Facebook as well.
Oh, that's nice. And can we put it on our Facebook page as well?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, go ahead and share away.
Yeah, great.
Okay.
Okay.
So I will let you know when that all takes place.
Thank you, Chris. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much for your time today, sir.
You're welcome. Take
Have
care.
a good day. You
Stay
too.
safe.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.